The planet Zephyr was dying. Its skies were dark, thick with black clouds that never moved. The oceans, once blue and alive, had turned into acidic pools that hissed whenever the wind touched them. The forests had withered into sharp, skeletal trees. The air itself seemed heavy, as if the planet were holding its last breath. In the center of Zephyr's largest city, a group of aliens huddled together. They were small and fragile compared to humans, with pale green skin and long, thin limbs. Their eyes glowed faintly, reflecting both fear and hope. For generations they had lived in peace, but now their world was on the edge of collapse. Kale, one of the oldest of their kind, stood at the top of a crumbling tower. His hands shook as he activated an old, dusty console. A soft hum filled the room. He pressed a series of buttons, each one with trembling precision. On the screen, a small blinking light began to pulse, sending a signal into the endless darkness of space. "We have tried everything," Kale said quietly. "Our technology is failing. Our people are dying. We have no choice left, we must call for help." Beside him, a younger alien named Lyra nodded. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Do you think anyone will answer, Kale? The universe is so big, what if no one hears us?" Kale's eyes remained on the blinking light. "We must hope, Lyra. Hope is all we have now." Far away, beyond the black void and millions of miles of cold emptiness, a human starship floated silently. Its name was Vanguard, and it was one of the most advanced ships ever built by humanity. Inside, Captain Marcus Kane watched the ship's sensors flicker. "What is that?" asked Lieutenant Arya, pointing at the screen. A signal had just appeared, strange in its pattern and urgent in its tone. Marcus leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "It's a distress signal, and it's coming from Zephyr." He paused. A small smile touched his lips, though it did not reach his eyes. "Looks like we have company." Back on Zephyr, the aliens continued their desperate work. The signal grew stronger, reaching further into space with each passing second. Kale's hands moved with a mixture of hope and fear. They did not know what kind of beings would respond, or what they would do. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the city. The ground trembled as a nearby building collapsed. Dust and debris filled the air, making it hard to breathe. Lyra coughed and held Kale's arm. "It's worse than we thought. The planet, it's killing itself faster than we imagined." Kale took a deep breath. "Then we must act quickly. This signal, it is our only chance." On the Vanguard, Marcus watched the signal pulse rhythmically on the console. He tapped a few commands, analyzing the pattern. "This technology, it's ancient. Whoever sent it has been waiting a long time for help." He turned to his crew. "Prepare for landing. I want to see what we're dealing with firsthand." As the human ship set its course for Zephyr, Kale and Lyra could only wait. They watched the sky, hoping to see a light, a shape, anything that could bring salvation. The tension was unbearable. Every second felt like an eternity. Then, far above the horizon, a faint glow appeared. It grew brighter, larger, until it became impossible to ignore. It was not a star. It was a ship. Massive, metallic, and unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Its hull gleamed even in the dim light of Zephyr's dying sun. Lyra gasped. "Kale, they came. They actually came." Kale's heart raced, a mix of relief and fear. "Stay calm. We don't know who they are, or why they came." The humans landed near the city's edge, their ship kicking up clouds of dust and debris. Tall figures emerged, clad in armor that reflected the weak light. Their faces were stern, their eyes sharp. They moved with precision, scanning the environment, every step calculated. Kale stepped forward, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. Lyra stayed close behind him. The aliens' hope hung in the balance. As the humans approached, the air grew tense. Something about them seemed dangerous. Their silence was heavier than the loudest roar, and their presence felt overwhelming. Kale swallowed hard. "We asked for help," he murmured. "We did not know what kind of help would arrive." And at that moment, the first shadow fell across Zephyr. A shadow that promised change, but no one could guess whether it would bring salvation or destruction. The humans had landed. The massive ship's metallic legs sank slightly into Zephyr's cracked ground. Dust and debris swirled around the landing site, forming clouds that blinded the aliens for a moment. When the air finally cleared, the humans stood there, tall and imposing. Their armor reflected the dim sunlight, and their eyes scanned every detail of the dying world with sharp precision. Kale and Lyra stepped forward cautiously. They had hoped for help, but nothing in their past had prepared them for the sheer presence of these newcomers. Every move the humans made seemed calculated, as if nothing was left to chance. "We come in peace," Kale called out, his voice shaking slightly. We are in need of assistance. Our planet is dying. The humans didn't respond immediately. They observed the aliens, their expressions unreadable. Marcus Kane, the captain, stepped forward. His gaze swept over the skeletal trees, the cracked earth, and the hissing pools of water. Then he looked at the aliens, his lips forming a thin line. Your distress signal was received, he said finally in a calm but firm voice. We are here. Tell us exactly what you need. Kale felt a flicker of hope, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. There was a coldness in the captain's eyes, a precision in his voice that made Kale wonder if these humans were here to help, or to take. We need resources, Kale said. Our energy cores are failing. The atmosphere is toxic. We cannot survive much longer. Lyra added quickly, please, any help, anything you can provide will save our people. Marcus nodded slowly. We will assess the situation. But first we need to understand your world. Show us your energy cores, your cities, your technology. The aliens hesitated. Their energy cores were fragile, ancient devices, and their cities were crumbling from neglect. But they had no choice. If the humans were truly here to help, they needed to trust them. Kale led the humans through the ruins of the main city. The streets were broken, filled with rubble and jagged metal. The humans walked silently, their boots crunching on the debris, their eyes constantly scanning. Lyra tried to stay close to Kale, but she could feel the tension building. One of the human soldiers, tall and muscular, bent down to examine a broken device. This technology is primitive, he muttered under his breath, almost to himself. Kale caught the words and felt a chill run down his spine. Were they judging his people? Or planning to take their technology? Marcus continued forward, stopping at the main energy core chamber. The room was large but dimly lit, filled with humming machinery that flickered weakly. Kale pointed to the failing cores. These are all that remain. They cannot last another cycle of Zephyr's day. Marcus studied the cores carefully. He walked around them, touching the surfaces lightly, observing how they hummed and flickered. Interesting, he said finally. You have potential, more than I expected. But it will require effort to restore this system. Kale tried to hide his unease. There was something about the way Marcus said, effort, that didn't feel like help. Lyra tugged at his sleeve. Kale, I don't trust them. Look at the way they move, like hunters not saviors. Kale forced himself to remain calm. We cannot judge them yet. We must wait and see. But suspense hung in the air like a storm cloud. Every step the humans took, every hand they extended toward the machinery felt like a test. The aliens didn't know if the humans would save their world or exploit it. Suddenly, one of the humans crouched near a broken wall and activated a small device. A holographic map sprang to life, showing the entire city, every alley and hidden energy nodes. Kale realized with growing alarm that the humans were not just inspecting, they were studying, memorizing every detail. Captain, the soldier said quietly, this place has more potential than we thought. With control over these nodes we could... He stopped when Marcus put a hand on his shoulder. Marcus didn't finish the sentence. He only smiled faintly. A smile that did not reach his eyes. Kale felt his stomach twist. Something about this human leader was dangerous. He tried to push the thought away to focus on hope. But Lyra's worried gaze mirrored his own fears. Hours passed as the humans explored. They were polite, almost charming at times, but their presence felt heavy, almost oppressive. The aliens could sense that every move they made was watched, every word recorded. As the sun set behind Zephyr's dark clouds, Marcus finally turned to Kale. We will remain here tonight. Tomorrow we will decide how to proceed. Rest your people. They may need all their strength for what is to come. Kale's heart sank. He nodded silently, unsure what is to come meant. As the humans set up their camp, Lyra whispered, Kale, they are not like us. They are strong. Dangerous. We need to be careful. Kale looked out over his city at the ruined streets and flickering cores. He clenched his fists. We have no choice but to hope, and prepare. Whatever they plan we cannot fail. And in the darkness of Zephyr's dying night, the first seeds of fear took root. The humans had arrived, and the aliens could only wait, hoping that help would come, and fearing that death might have walked onto their planet in human form. The next morning, Zephyr's sky remained a dull, smoky gray. The air was thick and heavy, carrying the faint smell of burned metal and chemical residue from the planet's failing ecosystem. Kale and Lyra stood at the edge of the alien city, watching the humans move among the ruins. Every step the humans took was precise, almost too careful, as if they were measuring the city itself rather than trying to help. Kale swallowed nervously. "We must speak with them," he said to Lyra. "We need to understand what they truly want." Lyra nodded, but her eyes were wide with unease. "I do not trust them, Kale. Even their smiles feel like weapons." Kale ignored her warning. He walked toward the humans, his limbs trembling slightly. Marcus Kane was already waiting, his arms crossed, studying the alien leader with an unreadable expression. "Good morning," Kale said, bowing slightly. "I am Kale and this is Lyra. We thank you for coming to our planet. Our people are in need of assistance." Marcus tilted his head slightly, his gaze scanning Kale from head to toe. "I am Captain Marcus Kane," he said. "We received your distress signal. Tell me, how serious is your situation?" Kale gestured to the city around them. "Our energy cores are failing. The air is poisonous. Our oceans are dying. Without help, our people will not survive the next cycle." Marcus nodded slowly, then turned to his team. "Prepare the scanners. I want to know everything about this city, the cores, and the technology these aliens are using." Kale felt a pang of fear. The humans were polite, even courteous, but every word, every action was measured. They weren't just here to help, they were analyzing. Lyra whispered, "Kale, they are not like us. They move like predators. Watch their hands. Watch their eyes." Kale clenched his fists but remained calm. "We have no choice. We must show them our world. But we must be careful." The humans followed Kale and Lyra into the energy core chamber. The humming machines flickered weakly under their touch. Marcus approached one of the failing cores and knelt beside it, examining the delicate wiring. His fingers traced the circuits carefully, almost reverently. "This is interesting," Marcus said quietly. "Your technology is old, but clever. Primitive yet effective." Kale forced a polite smile. "It is all we have left. Our ancestors built these cores generations ago. They kept our world alive for centuries." Marcus nodded, then turned to his crew. "Map the energy distribution. Identify weak points. I want a full analysis before we act." Kale's stomach tightened. "Act?" he asked cautiously. "You mean, to help us?" Marcus smiled faintly, but it did not reach his eyes. "Yes, to help. But first we must understand everything. Knowledge is the first step toward restoration." Lyra's eyes narrowed. She whispered to Kale, "Do you hear that? It is not help they speak of. It is control." Kale nodded, keeping his voice calm. "We will watch carefully. Do not reveal too much." While the humans worked, one of their soldiers approached a group of alien children hiding in the corner. The children froze, unsure if the humans were dangerous. The soldier crouched down and extended a hand. "It's okay," he said. "We're here to help." The children hesitated, then slowly reached out. Kale's chest tightened with conflicting emotions. Were these humans truly saviors, or was this part of a plan to gain trust before taking more than they should? Marcus stood and observed silently. His eyes flicked between the cores, the children, and the aliens. Everything was being measured, noted, and calculated. Kale felt a chill run down his spine. Hours passed. The humans had mapped the city, the cores, and even the surrounding forests. They asked questions politely, but their words carried hidden meanings. Every answer Kale gave was noted, every movement analyzed. As the sun began to set, Marcus called the group together. "We will remain here for the night. Tomorrow we will decide the best way forward. Rest your people. They will need strength for what comes next." Kale nodded, though unease gnawed at him. Lyra whispered, "Kale, something is wrong. I can feel it. They are not here to save us. They are here to take what we have." Kale looked out over the city, the weak cores, and the darkened sky. He clenched his fists. "Then we must be ready. If they intend harm, we cannot let our people suffer. We must survive." In the quiet of the alien night, the city trembled. The humans rested in their advanced suits, but their minds were alert, calculating, preparing. And the aliens realized something terrifying. Their pleas for help had summoned beings far more dangerous than they had imagined. The first contact had been made, but whether it would bring salvation or destruction remained uncertain. The night on Zephyra was quiet in a strange, heavy way. The sky had no stars, only thick clouds and the faint glow of distant lightning. Kale lay awake inside the old communication hall, listening to the soft hum of the failing energy cores. Lyra sat near him, her eyes fixed on the horizon where the humans had made their camp. "They are not sleeping," Lyra whispered. "Look at their lights. Look at their movement. They are planning something." Kale nodded slowly. "I know. Their presence is different. It is not the way rescuers behave. He paused, trying to calm his racing thoughts. But we cannot confront them without proof. We must watch carefully. At the human camp, Captain Marcus Kane stood in the center, speaking with his team in low voices. Their armor glowed softly in the dark. They were discussing maps, resources, and energy sources. Every action felt controlled, quiet, and strategic. Kale and Lyra moved closer, hiding behind a broken pillar. They could see Marcus pointing at a holographic map of Zephyra. It showed the entire city, the cores, and even underground tunnels the aliens had forgotten existed. Marcus' voice was low but clear. If we secure these energy nodes, we will control the entire planet's power flow. Once the cores are under our command, the aliens will have no choice but to surrender. Kale froze. His heart thumped painfully in his chest. Lyra covered her mouth to stop a gasp. Kale, listen. They want to control us. They want our planet. Marcus continued, his tone calm, too calm. We must move quickly. The planet is unstable, but the resources here are valuable. If we take control before the cores collapse, we can repair them and use the power for our fleet. Another soldier spoke. What about the aliens? Marcus shrugged lightly. They are weak. They will not resist. Their trust in us will make this easier. Kale felt his knees weaken. The humans were not here to help. They were here to conquer. Lyra grabbed his arm. We need to warn our people. They must know the truth. But Kale shook his head. Not yet. If we run now, they will know we heard them. We must learn everything first. The two aliens slipped away quietly, returning to the old hall before the humans noticed. The truth weighed heavily on Kale's mind. Help had arrived, yes, but in the form of a predator, not a savior. At sunrise, the humans walked back into the city with confident steps. Their faces were calm, almost friendly, but Kale now saw the truth hidden behind their smiles. Marcus approached him. We inspected your energy cores last night, he said. They are failing faster than we expected. We need full access to all of them. Every chamber. Every control room. Kale felt his chest tighten. Full access? What? We thought you only needed to repair them. Marcus nodded slowly. Yes, but repair requires control. Your people cannot help with that. Your knowledge is too limited. Let us take charge. It is the only way. Lyra stepped forward, her voice trembling. We can help. This is our world. Our technology. You promised? Marcus cut her off with a cold stare. We promised to evaluate. And we have. Now you must follow our instructions. Kale placed a gentle hand on Lyra's shoulder, signaling her to remain silent. He could sense the tension in the air. One wrong word could turn the humans hostile. I will speak with our council, Kale said calmly. We will decide. Marcus' eyes narrowed. Do not take long. Time is running out, for all of you. The humans walked away, but Kale could feel their eyes watching him even from a distance. Inside the council chamber, the remaining leaders of Zephyra gathered. Their faces were pale, worried, exhausted. Kale told them everything. Every word he heard from Marcus. Every threat hidden behind the humans' polite tone. The room fell silent as the truth settled in. They came to take, Lauren, an elder, said softly. Not to help. We must fight, one alien said. We cannot, another whispered. Look at them, they are stronger, faster, better armed. Kale raised his voice. We cannot fight them directly, but we can prepare. We can hide our resources. We can protect our last energy cores. We can make sure they do not take everything. Lyra nodded. We must act now before they make their move. The council agreed, but fear lingered in their eyes. They were peaceful beings, not warriors. Preparing for conflict felt unnatural, terrifying. But they had no choice. As night returned to Zephyra, the aliens began their preparations in silence. They moved through shadows, covering energy chambers, hiding important devices, sealing old tunnels. Kale directed them carefully, making sure no human could see their actions. But far above, on a hill near the human camp, Captain Marcus Kane watched the city through a glowing visor. He saw strange movements. Alien figures carrying equipment. Hidden signals. Shifting patterns. A slow smile formed on his face. It has begun, Marcus whispered. They know. He lowered the visor and turned to his soldiers. Prepare for Phase 2. The morning on Zephyra felt colder than usual. The wind carried sharp dust that stung the skin, and the sky seemed darker, as if the planet itself sensed what was coming. Kale walked through the empty streets, watching his people quietly hide tools, cover energy cores and prepare escape paths. Every alien moved with fear in their eyes but determination in their hearts. Lyra approached Kale, breathing heavily. "Marcus is watching us," she whispered. "I saw humans on the hills. They are tracking every movement." Kale nodded. "I know. But we must act. If we do nothing, we lose everything." Still, his heart was heavy. Every step he took felt like walking into a storm. Later that day, Marcus Kane and his soldiers marched into the city with strong, confident steps. Their armor glowed under the weak light. Every alien froze where they stood. The humans looked too calm, too prepared. Marcus stopped in front of Kale. "We need to talk," he said, his voice steady but cold. Kale forced a polite expression. "Of course, Captain. What do you need?" Marcus studied him for a long moment, his eyes sharp and unreadable. "Your people are hiding things from us. We saw movements near your energy cores last night. Tunnels being closed. Devices moved." "Why?" Kale's breath caught. Lyra stepped closer to him, ready to defend, but Kale raised a hand to stop her. "We were securing our resources," Kale said. "Your visit caused fear. My people panic easily." Marcus narrowed his eyes. "Fear? Why would they fear us, Kale? We came to help." The words were quiet, but they cut like a blade. Kale wanted to scream the truth, that Marcus had lied, that humans wanted to take their planet. But if he spoke too soon, his people would die instantly. He had to be careful. "We appreciate your help," Kale said slowly. "But we are protective of our technology. It is old, fragile, sacred." Marcus gave a short laugh. "Sacred. Interesting choice of word." He stepped closer, invading Kale's space. "Let me make something clear. We cannot help you unless you fully open your world to us. Your energy cores, your tunnels, your systems. All of it." Kale's pulse quickened. "We can work together. But..." Marcus raised his hand sharply. "No. There is no but that." He looked over his shoulder. "Bring it." A soldier stepped forward carrying a small black device. He placed it on the ground between the humans and aliens. Kale stared at it. "What is that?" Marcus crossed his arms. "Proof that cooperation is your only option." He pressed a button on his wrist. The device opened, and suddenly a bright light shot upward. A holographic image appeared, the entire city mapped in perfect detail. Every hidden tunnel. Every secret energy chamber. Every place the aliens thought was safe. Lyra gasped. How did you find all this?" Marcus smiled, calm and cruel. "While you slept." Kale's stomach twisted. Marcus continued, "You see, Kale, you cannot hide anything from us. Your world is weak. Your people are peaceful. You have nothing we need to fear." One alien elder, trembling with rage, stepped forward. "You said you would help us. You said." Marcus snapped his fingers. Two human soldiers aimed their weapons at the elder. The alien froze. The quiet threat was enough. Kale stepped in front of the elder quickly. "Please? There is no need for violence." Marcus lowered his hand slowly, but the threat still hung in the air like poison. "No violence if you cooperate," Marcus said softly. "But if you resist, your city will fall in 1 hour." The aliens behind Kale began to tremble. Some covered their mouths to hide their fear. Others looked ready to collapse. Kale stared at Marcus, trying to keep his voice steady. "What do you want?" "Control," Marcus said. "You give us access to every energy core, every city, every system, and we will help you survive. Refuse and we take it anyway." Lyra whispered, "This is wrong, this is betrayal." Marcus heard her. "No, little alien. This is strategy." Kale's hand shook. He finally understood. There was no misunderstanding, no miscommunication. The humans had planned this from the beginning. Marcus leaned closer. "You called for help. We answered. But you never asked what kind of help we give." Then he stepped back and gestured to his soldiers. Phase 2 begins now. Human soldiers fanned out across the city, spreading through streets, searching tunnels, forcing open sealed doors. Aliens scrambled away, terrified but helpless. Lyra grabbed Kale's arm. "We must fight. We cannot let them take everything." Kale felt tears sting his eyes. "We are not warriors, Lyra. We are not built for war. But we cannot surrender." Kale looked around, at his dying planet, at his frightened people, at the humans marching with cold precision. "No," he whispered. "We cannot." He raised his voice so the aliens around him could hear. "Everyone, fall back to the lower tunnels. Take nothing that glows or hums. Hide in the dark. Wait for my signal." The aliens ran, fear turning into desperate hope. Lyra turned to Kale. "What will you do?" Kale's eyes hardened for the first time. I will face Marcus again. And this time, I will not speak as a leader. I will speak as someone with nothing left to lose. The alien ship floated in the dark space, quiet and cold. Only a few lights still worked. The crew moved slowly through the halls, their bodies tired and their minds full of fear. They had called for help. They had hoped for safety. But now they understood the truth. Humans were not saviors. Humans were something far more dangerous. Captain Rel stood near the main viewing window. His hands were shaking, though he tried to hide it. Outside, the human dreadnought Hammerfall watched them like a silent giant. Its armor looked like metal carved from a dying star. Its engines glowed with a deep red light, like the breath of a sleeping dragon. No one on Rel's crew dared to speak. They were afraid even to breathe too loudly. A loud beep echoed through the control room. "Captain," said the comm officer, her voice thin. "The humans, they are sending another message." Rel nodded slowly. "Put it on the main screen." The screen lit up with the face of the human commander, Commander Hale. His expression was calm. Too calm. His eyes were sharp, like a predator watching weak prey. "Alien vessel," Hale said, his voice deep and steady. "We have reviewed your explanation. You claim your distress signal was a mistake. However, your ship has unusual weapon signatures." Rel swallowed hard. "Commander Hale, we told you." "Silence," Hale said softly, but his tone made the entire room freeze. "You will listen. Humans respond to danger. Humans respond to threats. And humans do not like lies." The crew looked at each other nervously. "We are not lying," Rel said, trying to sound brave. "We only wish to leave peacefully." Hale leaned closer to the camera. "Then you must prove it." Rel's heart sank. "How?" A new image appeared on the screen. It showed a small device, a metal cube with blinking lights. "This is a human security marker," Hale said. "You will attach it to your ship's core. It will monitor your systems. If you attempt anything hostile, even by accident, the marker will trigger an automatic response." Rel asked quietly, "What kind of response?" Hale's answer came like a cold blade. "Your destruction." The crew gasped. Some stepped back. One officer whispered a prayer. Rel forced himself to breathe. "Commander Hale, this is too much. We are no threat to you." "Then you have nothing to fear," Hale replied. "Humans only punish enemies, not allies." But the way he said it made everyone more afraid. The human commander continued, "We will escort you out of this sector. But until we confirm your true intent, you will follow our orders exactly. Any mistake, any sudden movement, and we will assume you are hostile." The screen went dark. Silence filled the room. Heavy, crushing silence. Finally, the engineer whispered, "Captain, humans are monsters." Rel did not answer. He simply stared at the empty screen. In his mind, one thought repeated again and again. "We asked them for help, and now we must survive their mercy." He turned to his crew. "Prepare the ship. Do not resist. Do not argue. Today, we obey the humans." And somewhere deep in the ship, the alien reactor hummed softly, unaware that its fate now depended on the patience of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The alien ship drifted beside the massive human dreadnought Hammerfall, like a fragile leaf next to a steel mountain. Every alien on board felt the same pressure in their chest, the fear of doing even one wrong thing. Captain Rel watched the human marker blinking on their core chamber door. Its small red light flashed like a heartbeat. A human heartbeat. Slow. Dangerous. Waiting. "Captain," the engineer whispered. "The marker is fully active. If we touch the wrong system, it will destroy us." Rel nodded. "No one touches anything without my order." The crew obeyed, but their eyes showed the same silent terror. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. Everyone froze. "Is that the core?" someone gasped. "No," the engineer said quickly. "Just power fluctuations, from the damage we took earlier." But fear spread fast. Several crew members backed away from the panels, afraid they might accidentally set off the human device. A loud tone echoed through the room. The communication screen lit up, showing Commander Hale again. His calm face filled the room like a cold wind. "Alien vessel," Hale said. "We are detecting instability in your power grid." Rel stepped forward quickly. "It's only minor damage. Please, do not activate the marker. We are not a threat." Hale watched him for a long moment. Then he said something that made the entire crew stiffen. "You have one last test." Rel whispered, "Test?" "Yes," Hale said. "Humans do not protect the weak without reason. To trust you, we must see your real intent." The image on the screen changed again. A small drone appeared. It floated in space between the two ships. It carried a shining charge, a controlled plasma burst. This drone is programmed, Hale explained, to explode near your hull. It will cause damage but not enough to destroy you. We want to see if you panic, fire weapons or try to escape. Rel felt cold spread through his body. You want to attack us? No, Hale replied. We want to see your reaction. Allies stay calm under pressure. Enemies reveal themselves. The crew stared at their captain, waiting for his answer. If we refuse? Rel asked quietly. Hale's voice softened, but the softness was more terrifying than anger. Refusal means guilt. Rel closed his eyes. A terrible silence filled the ship. Finally he spoke. Proceed. The drone moved closer, slowly, silently. Every alien held their breath. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. The drone exploded. A bright burst of plasma washed across the alien hull. The ship shook violently. Sparks burst from panels. Smoke filled the air. But the alien weapons stayed silent. The engine stayed still. The crew did not fight back. When the smoke cleared, Rel stood up straight and looked into the camera. We are not your enemy, he said simply. We only want to live. For the first time since the humans arrived, Hale leaned back. His expression changed just slightly. Not soft, not kind, but less sharp, less dangerous. Alien vessel, Hale said after a long pause. You passed the test. The entire crew exhaled at once. Hale continued, we will now escort you to a safe travel route away from human space. You will not return here without permission. If you do, the reaction will be far less gentle. Rel nodded. We understand. The human commander gave a final, cold nod. Then this is the end of our communication. Travel carefully. The screen went dark. Silence again. But this time it was a different silence, heavy yes, but relieved. The engineer finally whispered, Captain, we survived. Rel looked out the window at the human dreadnought turning away, its engines burning like twin suns. No, he said softly. We were allowed to survive. The ship began to move, following the human escort path. The danger was not gone, but the humans had made their decision. The aliens were not enemies. Just frightened travelers who wandered too close to the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And as the stars stretched before them, Captain Rel made a silent promise. Never again will we call humans for help.